Hello everyone! Welcome to the 6th episode of our Vampire the Masquerade stream, Ruins of Warsaw. I'm Alexandra and I'm the Storyteller.
Hi, I'm Dolores and I'm playing Janina of Clan Bruja.
Hi, my name is Faye and I play Beatrice of Clan Malkavian.
Hi, I'm Aurora and I'm playing Mara of Clan Nosferatu.
Thank you so much for joining us tonight. I hope you will enjoy it. It's great to have you here. So last time, in our previous episode, Mara woke up to discover that people had started to work to remove the ruins of her theater, presumably with the intent of building something in their place, which caused her quite a lot of pain and quite a lot of drama also with Bea, who, when Mara was talking about her feelings of losing her past, started feeling not very well herself due to her Malkavian condition. But there was not much time to dwell on it. So after quickly feeding and discovering through Bea's omens, Mara is dead, the coterie made their way across the Vistula River for their meeting with the Camarilla, which wasn't quite what they expected at first, because they found themselves in an office building where they were let for a moment. But eventually, they were met by a man who later turned out to be the sheriff of the city, Lucian Topolski, was accompanied by another man called Antoni and a Nosferatu, who introduced himself as Clemens. And after a conversation about coterie's past, their contacts, and how they made their way here, they were taken by Lucian and Clemens to Hotel Bristol, where Camarilla resides at the moment. They were led into a banquet hall, where first they encountered a man who drew attention of Mara, and also made some snide remarks about her. Later, more people began to arrive, observing the new Kindred, and finally, the prince of the city, Katarzyna, entered. And now, you're standing there in the middle of a banquet hall, having these 8 chairs in front of you, with the prince and the statuesque, broad-shouldered man in a checker suit by her side in the center, and the man you encountered when you first entered on the left, the other chairs remaining empty. The prince of Warsaw, Katarzyna, measures you with her piercing gaze. And finally she nods to Lucian, who steps forward, moving a bit to the side, and says, "My prince, I present to you 3 Kindred I told you about. This is Beatrice Woźniak of Clan Malkavian, Janina Siwek of Clan Bruja, and Mara of Clan Nosferatu." The prince nods as each of you is introduced, and then looks at you. "Welcome, neonates. I am happy to see more survivors in our city. Lucian informed me that all of you managed to survive in there on your own for quite a considerable time. That is commendable. Tell me, how can you contribute to the safety and prosperity of our society?"
I look at Belle
I
like...
I study the prince for a moment and then speak. My own personal abilities are that of reading omens, my prince. It's easy to avoid danger when you know that it will be coming.
I believe that should prove useful. I am familiar with various Malkavian gifts. How about your companions? And she looks to Janina and Mara.
I turn to them and just nod.
Well, my prince, I admit I'm fairly new to this society, so I'm still not sure what I can exactly do for the benefit of this court. I was an actress in my living days. I was used to deal with people. Now I can do that in a fashion with my powers. I'm like a spy, maybe.
A spy?
I can hide, I can talk, I can listen. I'm a quick learner.
She looks
I bow
at you
to her.
for a moment.
Mara bows to her.
Well, I believe we will see whether you really can do what you claim to be able to do. How about you, Miss
I
Shivet?
will slowly bow, but like just with my head. And well, I'm fairly new myself, but I was working as a nurse, and I have friends in the hospital, and maybe I could help with providing more substance for us and gaining more contacts to use.
Do you have such contacts at the moment?
Yes, I have a friend who doesn't know who we are, but he is a good friend and he helped me before.
She nods.
I will not back.
I smile at the girls briefly, just sort of the faintest hint of well done.
The prince looks at all of you again, briefly. After which, she nods her head. We will test your abilities in time. There is one more thing that needs to be done before we can welcome you in the city. Eliza, please come here. At that, you see the woman whom you saw earlier downstairs watching you, the one in an elegant white blouse with auburn hair, who comes forward from a group of people on one of the sides of the banquet hall. She walks towards you, and as she does, she takes out from her purse a very small knife. She comes to you first, Mara. Give me your hand, please.
Mara gives her hand. it's not. She's not seem very happy about it, but she comply.
At that, Eliza cuts it. Not very deeply, just enough to draw some blood. She holds your hand in place, and with her other hand starts tracing, drawing symbols with your blood on your hand. And she starts to speak. You hear the words that vibrate through your bones, through your muscles, through your nerves, even through your soul. You don't understand the language. You're not even sure if you're hearing them or you're feeling them, but you see her lips move. And after that, she raises her finger to her mouth and licks off a little bit of blood, closes her eyes, focuses. She lets go of your hand. Then she comes to you, Belle. It's the same. Please give
I
me
hold
your
out my hand.
She repeats the process, and again, you feel almost repulsed by her words, like they're twisting something inside you, sliding across all of your body, all of your being. But it's over quickly. And she just nods and comes to you, Janina. Please give me your hand.
I will give her my hand, and I'm very confident because I saw the girl itself.
She repeats in exactly the same way, raising her finger to her mouth to taste a little bit of your blood. Focus for a moment as you still feel the echo of her words as it vibrates somewhere in your bones, almost causing you to shiver. And then she opens her eyes. Nods to the prince, bows slightly. Everything is in order, my prince. Katarzyna just nods, and Eliza walks back to where she was standing. The prince looks to you. Do you have a safe haven, neonates?
My prince.
Good. Is there anything else that you require?
Simply the safety and the community of the Camarilla, my prince.
And we are glad to have you in our community. Please enjoy the premises of the Elysium for as long as you need. Mr. Topolsky, please follow me, she says as she stands up. At which the two other men also stand up, bow. She moves to start walking away. Lucian comes to you. Wait for me here. Do not leave before I find you again.
Yes, sir.
And he moves to walk beside the prince. You see the man in a checkered suit, a very big man with a big mustache, stop by the prince, saying, "My prince, I will be with you shortly." Katarzyna just nods her head and keeps walking. She walks out of the room. Lucian follows her. And they leave. The door closes behind them. You're standing there, in the center of the banquet hall. Some people begin to look towards you. How are you feeling, Bea?
I think that went as well as it could have gone. So currently relatively confident. I'm not used to so many people around us, but I'm good at adapting. So I'm mostly taking this in my stride. I'm still holding on to the familiarity of this feeling of Elysium.
How about you, Mara?
Mara has just realized she actually doesn't have any useful ability to contribute to the Camarilla. So she's making up things on the fly, and she's quite convinced she's going to die, probably. Maybe. But she's enjoying being the center of attention. So, well, impending death, but also spotlight, so could be better, could be worse.
All right. How about Janina?
She's feeling very, very uncomfortable being in such a place, but at the same time, she thinks that it went well. So she just wishes it to be over.
Okay, so you can't wait for this to be over.
Yeah.
But at the moment you are there, and not everyone is looking at you. Some people are already getting ready to leave. Some people are chatting among themselves. Some move towards you, and one of them is the man in the brown checkered suit, whom you saw sitting next to the prince, who walks straight towards you and asks, other people who wanted to come to speak to you noticed this. They all sort of step aside, decide to wait. And he approaches you with a friendly, kind smile.
I'll nod my head sort of respectfully at him, but also smile back.
I bow very theatrically.
Good evening, sir.
You must be very confused. Don't be alarmed. You are safe here.
Thank you, sir.
Of course.
I am Zygmunt Ray, and I represent Clan Brucha on the Primogen Council.
It's an honor. I look at Janina.
He looks to you now also, Janina, as he addresses you. I would like to briefly speak with you.
Of course. And I'm gonna step in his direction.
Yes, he starts walking more like towards the chair where he was sitting, away from Bea and Mara.
I will follow him. And I'm
other people keep respectful distance. Yeah. It's not like he's not leading you, to the other side of the room or anything, just so you have a little more of at least an illusion of privacy.
Yeah. Okay, follow him.
I sort of follow them with my eyes for a moment, just watch them leave.
I'm going to definitely glance at the
They don't leave. They don't leave
No. Just watch them carefully. And when Janina looks back, I'll smile at her as comfortingly as I can.
Mara is like this, more or less.
I will then turn to Mara and offer her my arm and say, well, shall we go?
Yes, let's take a walk so everyone can admire us. And with us, I mean me, obviously.
Of course, darling.
I'm joking. You are stunning tonight. I'm just joking.
Thank you, darling. You're too kind.
While we are walking, in a whisper and more seriously, Mara says, how much fucked up we are. And she smiled to everyone.
Yeah. I wouldn't say that, my dear. I think that your abilities could perfectly well be suited for that.
I don't have abilities. I'm an actress. I'm just good at reciting poetry and at being the...
You give yourself too little credit, dear. You are very competent.
Yes. I'm sure that... Thank you. I write that on my resume. But I mean, seriously speaking, I have no fucking idea what I should contribute with to these people.
Darling, welcome to everyone's own life.
Okay, so it's normal.
I'm pretty... Do any of us really know what we're doing?
Well, you can see the future. It's a pretty useful ability to me.
I can read omens, dear. It's...
You're pretty good. Not an expert, but...
Thank you. It comes in handy, but we'll see. But either way, let's go do the meet and greet. And
yes.
I will see how many people I'm supposed to remember about.
Yeah. Remember words like friend, my dear, darling exist for this reason.
Sir, ma'am.
Yes, exactly. Just pretend you know them.
Yes, well, we'll see how this goes.
Oh, yes. We will see. You remember...
Not that many people. Some have already left. There are maybe a bit over 10 people here at the moment.
Okay. You mentioned that Rahela was here.
She is. She is actually walking towards you now. As she sees you strolling around the bunker, holding hands. She left the man she entered with, just standing somewhere by the wall. He appears to be looking up, not really paying much attention to anything around him, but she's walking towards you, smiling.
Good evening.
I'm glad you made it here.
As are we. And it is good to see a familiar face.
Yes, there is not that much of that.
I
mean, I've been here with these people for a while and still wouldn't say they're familiar as such.
Any tips and tricks on who to avoid?
Well, I see your friend over there is making a powerful friend. That's a good step, I suppose. It's no one you necessarily need to avoid. It all depends what you want to accomplish and how you treat them.
True.
I would steer away from him, and she very slightly points her head to the man who was sitting at 2 chairs before, and now is still sitting there, and you see the beautiful woman who knelt by his side and kissed him before. Again by his side, and he's stroking her hair. Looking with a bit of amusement at you and the whole banquet hall.
A charming gentleman.
Of course, I'll avoid him.
I give her a look.
I'd rather. He's not a very pleasant person. He causes her so much pain.
I don't know about that. I only know that he's in the spotlight and I don't like it. So I will ignore him. So I'll...
Behave, darling.
Yes, I know.
I'll pat her arm slightly.
I'm just not looking at him. Just.
Well, Just so you know, it's the Primogen of Clan Toreador.
Oh, that explains something.
He's... Well, he mostly ignores me, but I like him that way. He can be really nasty.
Oh, I can imagine. Does he have a name?
Mihai Orlov.
I will never remember that.
It's like Mihai. You
like
recognize it as a Russian name, by the way, not a Polish one.
Mm. Well, now we know.
Yes.
Thank you. Mm.
But the Bruja Primogen, the one your friend's talking to, some people say that he actually runs the city.
That's intriguing.
Yes, they say that Prince listens to him in almost everything.
Oh, that is intriguing.
Yes.
His clan resents him for it, though. Although I think they like it also. Although they'd never admit it.
Well, you can always complain while reaping the rewards.
Yes,
Very
it's not
true.
many of them here to do that, but I'm sure they will reappear.
Indeed. The gentleman that you came in with.
Oh, that is my sire.
Ah, that is Bruno. Excellent.
Yes, come, I can introduce you.
That would be wonderful, thank you.
And she starts leading the way towards the gentleman in elegant black suits with a equally elegant cane, who's just leaning against the wall, looking at the ceiling with his eyes closed. Meanwhile, Janina, Zygmunt, leads you towards the 8 chairs to the other side from where the Toreador Primogen is sitting. And he just stands there at some point, stops. He smiles to you again, kindly.
I will smile back, trying not to look too that I'm pretending, so I'll try my best to smile like I mean it.
Tell me, Janina, how are you finding all of this?
You mean like the Camarilla or like this gathering?
Whichever is more on your mind.
Well, I have never been with so many of us, so it's a bit scary, but everyone seemed very polite, and so far I don't have anything to complain beside me not being used to this kind of situations.
I'm sure you will find it all much more familiar and comfortable soon.
Thank you. I hope I will.
From what I heard, you are a very resourceful young woman. I'm sure you can handle these people.
Well, I will try my best to not disappoint the prince and the others that will need anything from us.
Relax, Janina. You don't have to put on this facade with me. I want to get to know you. We are, after all, of the same clan.
Oh yes, that would be delightful. And Janina will try to look him in the eyes and not trying to drop her gaze on the ground all the time.
I'm sure the ease will come with time.
Yes.
Who were you before your embrace? You mentioned nursing?
Yes, I was.
Hospital?
Yes, I work at the hospital. I helped I helped people with my friend. We helped tending to the wounded, and we also helped them run away from the city.
He smiles at that. As I said, you don't need to be intimidated here. I am glad to meet someone accomplished in the science of medicine. I don't know much about it myself. It's not the area I pursue. But I'm sure we could have some interesting discussions pertaining to sciences. I would like to get to know you better.
Yes, the feeling is mutual, sir.
I'm afraid I have to go now. The prince is waiting for me.
Of course. Thank you for making time to chat with me. It was nice to meet you.
If you ever need something or have some questions, do not hesitate to find me. I am usually here.
Thank you.
And I'm looking forward to getting to know you better.
Thank you so much. Have a pleasant evening. And I wait till he leaves. And then I will get back to the girls.
You say, try to enjoy yourself here.
Thank you.
And he smiles and walks off through the same door through which the prince left. And you see the girls talking to Rahela.
Okay, so I will march to them as most confidently as I can. And just looking at them, not looking at anyone else.
As soon as Janina gets close, I'll offer her my other arm.
And I will gently hold her.
So
How did it go?
As Rahela starts leading you towards her sire, Bruno, Janina joins you, and you all link arms and are following in that manner. Rahela looks to you, Janina. Good to see you.
Yes, good to see you too.
I see your primogen took interest.
Oh yes, he seems very nice.
I was just telling your friends, some people say he actually runs the city.
Really?
Well, that's what they say.
I look at girls like,
You made a good impression, right?
I just smile.
Come, we'll
introduce us to Bruno.
Bruno.
Oh yes, I'm eager.
I'm sure he wants to get to know you, especially you, Bea.
It'll be lovely.
And you walk across banquet hall towards Bruno. But before you reach him, Clement comes towards you. He doesn't quite block your way, but stands in a way so that he will be noticed. On the side where Mara is. Excuse me. Mara.
Yes.
May we speak for a moment?
Of course. Girls, behave and don't have fun without me.
We would never.
Wouldn't dream of it, darling.
Okay. See you later.
So you stop by Clemens while Bea and Janina continue to walk towards Bruno, following Rahela, who comes up to him and as she is coming closer, he shifts slightly, doesn't quite look at her. She takes his hand and says, "Sire, these are the friends I told you about." Would you like to speak with them? One of them is a child of Felicia. You see Bruno, who's still looking somewhere ahead. Smile slightly, without any joy in that smile. Oh yes, I heard. Beatrice, Janina, and Mara. Although I believe she got held back by someone.
Yes, sir.
How is Felicia these days?
She has been eager to make contact with others. She was asking after you, in fact, sir.
Oh, it's good to know someone still wants to talk to me, and it's good to know that she is still with us. I was beginning to fear the worst.
Yes. No, she is well, sir.
I expected her to appear much earlier, but then you never know how things turn out.
No.
He has a very pained expression on his speaking. How are you finding this place?
It is a little familiar to me, so it is comforting, in a way.
Yes, it's certainly better to be here than anywhere outside at the moment. So many did not come back. Or
Indeed.
leave and don't come back.
Mm.
The war may have ended for the mortals, but we are still in danger. And we are still dying.
Yes.
Rahela just holds his hand more. We are safe here, and you don't have to leave. I will make sure of that. He smiles at her, strokes her hair, at which she flinches a bit, like she doesn't quite like it. I am not worried about myself. I suppose I've already been more fortunate than many think I deserve to be. I'm worried about you, Rahela, and you leaving. And our new friends here, who will be in danger. And everything that turns to dust. I'm sorry. My mind wanders sometimes.
That's quite all right, sir.
I'm glad to hear Felicia is all right.
Yes. I was wondering, you wouldn't happen to have heard of Estella?
Estera. Oh, yes, she and Felicia were very close. I would expect them to have stayed together, but I gather that's not the case.
She's been trying to find her, but I take it she's not made a reappearance yet.
She wasn't with the other Baruch either when they paid us a visit.
Okay.
I'm
Well, thank
afraid
you.
she might be gone. Excuse me a second.
That's all right.
I roll for something. Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
His face just turns for a moment away from you, like he's listening to something and gazing into the distance. Although I'm afraid she might not be entirely gone. think she's been through some pain and change. Rahela, my child, I need to sit down. Please, can you lead me somewhere? She grabs his hand. Of course. Of course. She looks to you.
I'll smile.
A bit worried and pained.
Yes. It's quite all right. Have a pleasant evening. I'm sure we'll speak again.
I will come back to talk to you. But I need to take care of him.
Absolutely. No, I understand.
He again strokes her hair. I'm taking you away from your new friends. I really shouldn't be doing that. All right. I think I'm better now. You can all talk. I just need to sort out my thoughts. Oh, poor Estera. What happened to you? What have you done? He says, again, seeming completely lost in something you don't quite see. After which he leans again against the wall and looks up, leaning on the cane. Rahela stays with him for a bit, looks kind of worried. But he pushes her gently with one hand. She nods. Please call me if you need me. I'll be not far away.
Of course. Thank you.
He just nods. Oh no, he says to he. She has.
Oh right, my bad.
And he just nods his head. And she starts walking, gesturing for you to follow, but looking back to him over her shoulder. Mara. Clemens stops you. You see Bea and Janina follow Rahela and starts talking to a man called Bruno, Rahela's sire. Clemens doing his kind of shabby pullover with a crucifix hanging around his neck. Looks to you. I don't mean to keep you away from your friends for long. Just want to let you know I will go notify the Primogen that you're here.
Thank you.
I imagine she will want to speak with you.
I suppose. She's not here now.
No, she doesn't really hang around the court unless she has to.
I get the feeling that she will find me when she wants.
Well, depends where you go. There are some we haven't been able to find.
Let me, I don't know. Let me know. I don't know how often these things are held. If there are regular gatherings or things like that. It's pretty complicated meeting up.
That was just your first meeting. Yeah. You can visit here. Some of us are here all the time.
Really?
Not of our clan, except for one. And I have to come occasionally for my duties. You look like someone who might enjoy being here.
I don't know, yes. I stop around when I can, and I'm sure sooner or later this fateful meeting with my primogen will happen.
I'm sure it will.
There's something else. You seem, I don't know,
May I
worried.
give you a bit of advice that you might not like hearing?
I'm ready. I'm strong. Tell me.
I hope you are. Not for this, just generally for your sake. The world shouldn't be like this, but it is much kinder to the strong. No matter how much we might want to change it. You certainly seem like someone who likes being in the center of attention.
You say? I understand what you are trying to say. I appreciate your tact in this matter. I'm not stupid or delusional about my appearance. I know that I am a monster. It's not my appearance that is a problem. I like being in the spotlight, yes, for good or for worse. If they don't notice me because of my stunning beauty, they will notice me for my stunning nightmarish. But most of all, they will notice me because I'm good at what I do. The problem is that what I do is not really helpful in an Elysium, but we will solve this.
Oh,
I was an actress, not a doll.
Mara, was it?
Mara
Why such a name? I assume you had a different one before.
Yes. Yes. Is a demon. It's just a character. It's just a new character.
Just shakes his head slightly. Believe me, most people here are far, far worse monsters than you are, and probably than you can imagine.
Yes. But the skill of an actress is making the public see what she wants them to see, not what really is. How can I explain it? The creature that's impersonating Mara is not a monster, I can assure you. Is not cruel. Is not a beast. But is not someone you would want to meet.
I am afraid I am not quite following, but then I've never been an actor.
What I mean?
I feel sorry for him.
What remained after I was gone is not much. Mara is just a character, as in much more interesting of what was left of the actress.
Ah, I understand. That's how you try to seek attention. Here. Isn't that so? Forgive me if I'm wrong. I don't want to presume things. I just want to warn you that those people, vast majority of them, will never respect you. No matter how you present yourself to them, no matter how good you are at what you do, they will still see Nosferatu trying to appear beautiful and striking. Just be prepared for it.
You're a good man, You're a good man, Clemens.
It's official. I
You
want to
really
marry
are.
him.
I'm afraid I'm not as good as I'd like to be. There are many things I am not proud of. And I only pray to God that He will give me strength to stay as good as I can be.
You are, from what I can gather, I think you are a good man. I don't know. Probably you are right. I'm still pretty new to all this and of all being a Nosferatu experience. You're probably right. I think I'm pretty stunning, even in my normal attire, but that's another. The point is, yes, they will probably despise me. They will probably laugh. They will probably, I don't know. But I will fight. And I will win in the end. Like I always do. I'm not afraid of the laughing.
I'm sure that attitude will help you. It's good to have the spirit.
They will learn, I hope, to respect me one way or another. Or I will find a way to make this happen. And even if they laugh, it means that they are watching me, whether they like it or not.
As long as you are able to withstand all that comes with it. There is one of us here, very talented dancer, but they still don't respect him. And no matter, he's a better artist than most of our toreadors, I would say. But they still see a Nosferatu who tries to be where he doesn't belong. Most of them, at least.
I will definitely want to meet the dancer because I'm quite a dancer myself. Second, they don't respect us because we are Nosferatu. We will see about them in time. Act, you want respect? Act like you are one who deserves respect, even if it's not true.
Just be careful with your attitude around some people.
Yes, they will hate me. I get her that much. I
mean it purely as an advice. I myself don't really care for their respect. Much more terrible to me and my conscience.
Will give a lot of respect. I'm very respectful, but I also very much struggle for my spotlight. Even with I can use 2 chairs because I'm pretty.
He laughs a bit at that.
With
I'm
respect,
sure
of
to
course.
not call him that within an
I-
inch of, because I don't want to deal
Obvious.
with all that nonsense. But obviously, you can pick whatever path. But take my word for it, don't try to wow our Primogene. She has very little patience for pretense. She will not take kindly to it.
From the little I know about her, I'm already prepared to be beaten very, very hard. I'm already prepared for broken bones.
I'm sorry, I'm imagining spanking Mara.
He looks at you, kind of troubled. I don't think she has any reason to do that.
I don't know. I get the feeling that after 5 minutes speaking with me, she will feel the sudden need of kicking my ass. I don't know. Just a feeling.
At least
But-
you're prepared for the worst.
Yes, but maybe we will be friends. I don't know. Maybe we will like me. I don't think so, but I can be very likable. Sometimes. I like you, by the way. You're very kind. So I'll try not to cause you trouble because you're pretty kind and funny. So I will
I'm
listen.
sure any trouble you will cause will be entirely your own.
Yes. But no.
I wish you well, Mara. And I think Primogene might appreciate your survival instinct and determination. If not the pretense. Just bear that in mind when you see her.
I'll bear it in my heart.
I will get going, I'm sure. My colleagues are wondering how long will I linger. Have few things to do, and I need to stop by the Primogene on the way. He bows to you. Slightly, just like nods his head.
She bows theatrically
And starts walking away. Out of the banquet hall.
So many
No, don't
plans,
go.
so many plans. I go to the girls very, very proudly.
How are you
Oh,
feeling
my God.
after this conversation? What are you thinking about?
Mara, I have some plans that are clearly a bad idea, so she's putting them for another time. She truly likes Clemens because she thinks he's a good man, and she appreciated his advice. But she also starting to realize, in her opinion, she's like in the wrong clan. That none of them will probably understand her. Not her fault, but so she is a bit. She's thinking about it, and she is not sure what to make of her own clan.
All
But she
right.
goes proudly to the girls.
So you're proudly towards them. So, Bea, Janina, as you are standing there with Rahela, having left Bruno, Mara comes looking very proud towards you.
Good to see you again.
I smile at her very honestly. I'm happy to see her.
I missed you girls, so you cannot imagine how much.
We were
I'll
parted
call
so
her.
long.
Yes, but it was. Clemens is a good man. Believe me, really. He is, but
Is something troubling you? What did he say to you? Or do you want to talk about it at home?
Rafaela smiles at you. I can leave you to talk. I will be around. We can chat later.
I
understand we don't know each other that well, you know.
Not a problem. Not a problem. You can add nothing, not particularly secret. Just I don't know. I discovered that exists in the city a Nosferatu dancer.
Oh,
so I want
sounds intriguing.
Him. Absolutely.
Yes, he lives here at this hotel. He lives here at this hotel. He is very good.
Oh,
my sire sometimes.
Finally, we'll have someone else to dance than me. Someone who can do it.
I think he already left.
Janina, you will always be my favorite partner in dancing.
Thank you.
Don't worry. It's just a matter of trying. I get the feeling that maybe I'm a bit too flashy for my clan. Don't know, just this feeling. Probably I'm mistaken. Probably it's just an impression. I don't know, probably it's just a grayish attire that is common to everyone I met of my clan that is deceiving me, but probably. I don't know, I get the feeling that they will not like me much.
I'm sure they will once they get to know you.
Oh,
I don't think everyone has to be the same.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
Just be yourself. But try not to cause any trouble.
And I will tell you this. This is my new goal, to make this Nosferatu dancer famous all across Europe, the world, I don't know. But I will make him a sensation.
Maybe meet him first.
Yeah, or maybe famous but in Kindred's world.
Yes,
not
of course,
everywhere.
Of course.
I believe he was rather famous in life.
What is his name, if I may ask?
Dominic.
Dominic dance. I have, I don't know, it spark something. Dominic dancer or
Dominic. Yes, I think it actually might. His name, Helena tells you full name, is Dominik Sawicki. And you remember, actually, roll me intelligence and performance.
Oh, yes.
With difficulty 6.
2 successes.
2 successes. You remember, it was a name of a ballet dancer who was quite famous in the National Theatre and Opera in Warsaw. Before, early in the interwar period, you saw some posters from his shows, something about him touring Europe.
Oh my God, Dominic, Gers, he's the real deal. I mean, he's not me, he's pretty famous, he's really famous. Oh my God.
I'm very pleased for you.
It's really
well. I think.
Come on.
We'll have a
ballet.
Real
Oh, Dominic.
I give you an
posters.
expression. I give you an expression of I don't remember what happened yesterday. Let's not.
He's great. I mean, it's wonderful news. He's still Walking Dead. I mean, it's still dead dancing.
You will meet him.
Great. Absolutely. Like, I mean, obviously, I'm a great actress. Obviously.
Yes.
But he was famous. He was really famous.
Well,
I mean, I was not.
I'm sure you two will have a lot to talk about. Maybe
Yes,
he will
but-
be a Nosferatu that is more like you.
I don't know.
I'm afraid he's not quite like Mara. He mostly keeps to himself and few closest people.
Oh,
I'll see.
maybe it will be
I-
3. And I look at Mara.
I try to talk to him, and I don't know. How can I say? I'll be on my own. I'll stay in the center, shining by myself. Or
As
with
you're
you,
talking,
if you want.
you see the Toreador Primogen walking towards you.
Oh my god.
The beautiful woman is at his side, leading
Mara?
her by the arm.
Mara pretends not to notice.
She's looking at him with adoration. He just leads her straight towards you with a smile.
I'm gonna hold
On his
Mara's
face.
hand, like
I will
and
turn
pretend to
and
smile.
yes, I will turn and smile at him. Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I turn around like I didn't notice him. I totally noticed him, but I was pretending not. I turn around. Oh. Honored to meet you.
I heard talk about fame and spotlight, and I had to answer the call.
Oh, I totally understand that.
Yes, I'm sure you do. You are quite a spectacle, aren't you?
Yes, I am. But please, join us. I heard quite a lot about you.
Only good things, I hope.
Of course. And you.
Then enlighten me. What are people saying about me?
Oh, that you. What you are, the Toreador Primogen for us. So obviously someone worth your respect and admiration.
One of my favorite words. Mikhail Ostrovsky.
Well, I'm sure you already heard,
No,
but
not Ostrovsky.
I am.
Sorry, Orlov. Oh, I messed that up. Mikhail Orlov.
Orlov?
Orlov.
I never understood.
Okay.
Yeah.
I won't remember it, but
It will be forever.
I just messed it up.
we have Bea's notebook.
I'm normally okay not messing things up, but sometimes
That's
it
okay.
happens.
No. It will be forever the Toreador Primogen for me because I never
I will call him that asshole.
It is a pleasure to
You
meet
won't
you.
be the only one.
But your beautiful companion?
Oh, that's my child, Anna Maria.
I will
Darling,
her.
please say hello. She looks to you almost as if an enchantment was broken. Hello.
Nice
Nice to meet
to
you.
find.
I hope you will be happy here.
Oh, I hope so too.
Of course they will be. What is there to dislike? Great company, beautiful decor, all the comforts, shielding us from this nasty business of Sabbat.
Oh,
You see, Anna Maria kind of shiver at the mention of Sabbat and hold his arm a bit closer. He hugs her at that. Don't worry, my dear, you are safe here. With me, I would never let anything to happen to you.
Mara smiles, but she seems more. Probably, I get her. He will notice. It seems like she's disturbed by his child behavior. There's something that give her pause, but she keeps smiling. Of course, we look like we are pretty safe here, but I heard. Forgive me, I am pretty new to this incredible and shining society, so I have never the chance to meet anyone from your prestigious clan. But I heard you have artists, lover of the arts.
Oh, indeed. I am myself a connoisseur of many arts, and I must inquire, what inspired you to present yourself in such an eye-catching manner?
I know.
He smiles, and there's nothing pleasant in his smile, as he said.
Mara
just
smiles.
spoiling inside.
Mara smiles to him even more cold than before. Yes, I admit I prefer my natural beauty, but I was told, of course, for the masquerade, that for the travel I should have dressed, so to speak, with something more, I know, anonymous, less eye-catching.
No, don't deny us this sight ever, please.
I don't know.
Many will tell you to put yourself in the shadows, but I think you can go even more spectacular, and I expect to see it next time.
Oh, I totally agree with you.
Me. Wouldn't she be marvelous with even more sparkle? Maybe slightly brighter colors. What do you think, my dear? Anna Maria looks to him and then to you, Mara. Looking. It's a hard to read expression. She frowns a bit, looks back to Mihail. I believe she could draw more attention, yes. She says, and she looks to you again, Mara, looking kind of sad.
Can I roll to see
perception and empathy, right?
Exactly.
Yes, absolutely. It's difficulty 6.
I am
insightful also apply. Okay.
So insightful, yes. Difficulty 6. Yes. You can roll as well, Bea, if you want.
Yes, I would quite like to.
3 successes.
3 successes, okay.
Yeah. 4 successes. I've rolled 2 10s.
All right. So you both see that she doesn't want to hurt Mara. She doesn't want to be mean to her, and she feels guilty for all these remarks. She doesn't want to participate. She's not comfortable with it. But at the same time, she doesn't want her sire to think less of her. She looks to him with, it's not quite fear, like he would hurt her, but more with wanting to please.
Mara
You,
looks to
Bea,
her.
also see that she is very sad underneath it all. She doesn't want to be in this room at all.
Mara looks at her, and her smile is more gentle when she smiles to her. She keeps like, but what about your child? She's an artist.
Oh,
She-
my
what she do?
child is an artist in the work of art in one. He takes her chin in his hand, just looks to her, admiring her face for a moment. Isn't she just perfect? My dear, I know you are very modest, but I must show you off sometimes. She smiles, of course, I'm just happy I can be with you. Oh, abandon you. Now, you can go if you wish. I will join you later. Wait for me. Of course, I can't wait. She bows slightly, smiles, looks to him with absolute adoration. But you also see sadness there and some shame. And she walks away. She looks back towards you again with feeling sorry, guilty, uncomfortable with all that happened.
I give her a faint smile.
She smiles back and then just walks away.
Mara smiles at her and give her a little bow and turn back to her sire with her happy cold smile. So, and you are a connoisseur of arts. You are an artist yourself, or just an admirer?
I am an admirer and the most fervent one, and always looking for something new to lift up.
Oh,
you should try harder. Maybe your next outfit will really impress me.
Oh, I live to impress you.
So
or maybe.
Can't blame you, really. Have a good evening. I'm sure I won't quickly forget the sight of you. And he smiles, this very venomous smile, and walks away. You see, Janina, what were you doing throughout all this?
Well, Janina was looking at him. She didn't even look at his child. She was just disgusted, absolutely boiling, trying to control, because she really wanted to punch him, because such an asshole.
The moment he has turned his back, Bea's face just goes cold.
Yeah, you would have seen that, like, at some point during that conversation, Rahela sort of moved away. And
That's fair.
And she is now talking to Eliza. There, Eliza kind of leaned forward to be close, have her face closer to Rahela's face, and they are talking. And the three of you are on your own at the moment.
I will turn to Mara once the Toreador Primogen leaves, and I will tell him, what an asshole. I guess he would never actually even recognize art, even if it was in front of him.
No, absolutely not.
He seems just like a poser.
Of course he is.
Yeah. Don't worry about him.
Question to the ST. Is handsome?
Yes, very much
Okay.
so. Not quite as beautiful as his child, but
Okay.
he is very handsome. Very well.
Janina wouldn't tell.
Yeah. I will lean into the girls and
I'm
say
sorry
very
for it.
quietly, perhaps this is a discussion best left for Ham.
Yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Well, I kind of like his child too. She's not like him.
She's very sad.
Yes, I can imagine. I'd be sad too. If I was her, I would be very sad. I was hoping maybe in the future I can manage to catch her without her shining.
Do you think
beautiful
she even leaves his side? And
I don't know. I mean, she's an artist. Let her do something.
You remember her like coming in without him when he was alone in a room, so she was alone before that. You know that at least.
I hate is a type of man I don't like for many reasons. But we are, well, hopefully eternal and the war is long.
yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Shall we continue mingling?
Oh, of course. Of course. I'm very hyped.
Do we have anyone else on our list that we should ask about?
So on my list, although some of my writing is a little scruffy, I had Bruno, who we've spoken to, Estera, who we've asked about, and
Lucina, I believe.
Lucina, yes, sorry. It was the last word where I've kind of crammed it all against a page. It's a little hard to read. Lucina. I will lean in very close and go, I'm going to be honest, I have no idea if I've met Lucina or not before. So...
Do we know what clan she is?
Yep.
So it's a gift.
Never ask.
I did not. So
maybe
we could
could
speak
ask.
to Rahela.
Yeah, and ask
and
her.
Maybe get more of an introduction with Elisa while we're at it.
Yes. Do you have an idea what she did to us? Was she like checking us, or?
Could I check? Would I know?
You would know she was Tremere. You recognized it before in your vision.
Yes.
You have that sort of familiarity. You don't know much about what they do and how.
That's fair. Okay. Well, I believe she would be of Clan Tremere. They're blood magicians, I suppose.
Oh, and what did they? What did she do to us? Did she check us for? I don't know for what.
Yes. Perhaps it was a check whether we've committed diablerie. I don't know. I must admit I'm not massively familiar with blood magic.
Yes. Well, it was very uncomfortable to experience.
Yes.
And very strange.
It was certainly an experience.
Yes. Well, I can imagine, like, you have your omens and other, like, abilities, and this was as close as I could get to something very out of this world. It was very strange.
Yes. My omens, I'm at least reading the world around me. I'm not entirely sure what she did.
Yeah.
Well,
let's hope she won't do it again anytime soon.
Yes, absolutely.
Dare to dream. Well, how about we stop speculating and go see if we can speak with her?
Yeah. Okay, let's go.
So you start walking towards Rahela and Elisa.
See if we get interrupted by anyone else.
No one seems to be heading your way at the moment. As you're walking towards them, Rahela looks to you, notices that you're coming closer and smiles. Oh, hi.
Hey.
Sorry, I thought I'd catch up with my friend here instead of listening to the Primogen.
Don't worry. Leave that job to me. I leave that job to me always.
You said some things about him when he left that you shouldn't have said. Be careful. People are listening.
Oh.
Elisa
Well,
smiles to you. Indeed, they are.
but it's difficult. He's in a position of far, far away from me in terms of power. So you have to take some bold move to make him react.
You really
in
don't
ways
have
that
to.
Hmm?
You really don't have to.
No, I don't. Yes, that is actually true. But
Why do you want him to react? I just want him to stay away.
I don't like. I don't like him. I don't like the way she treats that his child, and that really anger me. But most importantly, I see that in here in some way at some point in the future.
Well, I won't stop you, but I'm not sure I want to be dragged into this. You understand?
Don't
That's
worry.
fair.
Don't worry.
So try
See
to
that way.
make my way here.
See it that way. I will keep him occupied so you don't have to deal with him. Because the next time we will meet him, he will probably annoy the hell out of me and probably generally leave my girl alone. Probably. If they don't start to act like me, but I don't think they are
I
smarter
want to
than.
punch him in the face, but I will wait.
No, okay.
Maybe centuries.
If you don't,
and
okay.
I smile like I'm joking.
Okay. If you don't do that, okay.
Girls.
Assume
Girls.
you don't do that.
Elisa just looks to you. Not quite terrified, but just with disbelief. Like, don't do that. Believe me, you don't want to.
No, don't worry. I know that I don't look like the type. I'm well aware of the risks. I'm just, I think that if you never take risks, you will never accomplish anything in life or in that.
I also
agree
believe in
with
picking
you.
your battles.
Exactly. I agree that risks are necessary to succeed, but not everything. And these are the lives. We all need allies.
Absolutely. I'm not going to do anything too dangerous. Just a little social struggle. Girls, I'm having fun. I don't know. It's a problem, I know, but I like the situations.
I'm glad you're having fun.
I probably very much regret this. I know.
Elisa looks to you. You might be one of the only people in the city who are having fun at the moment. Of Kindred, I mean.
Because you're looking at it the wrong way. You see, think like you are in a play and you are acting a character. choose the character you are acting and try to do that at the best of your abilities.
Will
You
that
will see that
protect
if
me
you-
from Sabbat?
Okay. With Sabbath is a bit more problematic because they usually punch before speaking. But I was talking more about pleasantries in court. Sabbath, hide behind Janina. And I point to Janina. That is my main tactic. Or be scary and then hide behind Janina.
She looks to you with puzzled expression, like she doesn't know what to make of you.
I'm not a
Hela
warrior.
looks much more obviously skeptical.
I'm not a warrior. I can try to bullshit them. I can make plans, but I'm not a warrior, and they are very much warriors. So
Elisa
this is my
smiles.
problem.
Maybe you can talk them to death.
Probably we can. Thank you.
I flash
She's
her.
smiling.
Yes, I look greatly amused at that comment. I'm terribly sorry we've somewhat barged into this conversation. I hope that we didn't interrupt anything important.
Elisa looks to you. Oh no, I was just catching up with Hela. She is like a sister to me. And Hela smiles and nods.
I sort of beam back at them when I hear that phrase.
Nothing too important.
Good. Yes. If I might ask, the back there with the knife, might I ask what that was exactly?
Just something my clan can do. To make sure you are who you say you are.
That is fair. Okay.
From what I understand, in safer times this would not necessarily be done. But Prince has me check everybody who comes in.
That seems sensible.
Wise.
I think it is.
Okay.
Hela looks to you. Do you have any questions? Are you finding it all okay?
No, that's...
You know, you can talk to us.
Well, that's good, and thank you.
Well, me more than her, but I'm definitely still trying to make sense of it all.
That's fair. Who is all on the Primogen Council at the moment, other than Toreador and Bruja? Or is that complicated?
Elisa closes her eyes for a moment. It's not complicated, it's just sign of the times, I suppose. There is a venture Primogen. But he wouldn't show up every time a new Kindred finds their way to us. It's not necessary. Nosferatu Primogen clearly was otherwise busy.
Yes.
I'm afraid that's all we have at the moment.
Very well. That's still useful to know. It's been some time since I was last in court, and there are some things that are familiar, but I'm still getting to grips on what has changed.
I don't think we've ever met, but then I hardly ever was mingling before the war.
That's fair. Bear going, whew. Yes. No, I didn't. I didn't think you were familiar. But this time.
Absolutely.
Do you girls have any questions?
Probably.
Millions, but
Maybe we
I
can ask
didn't
about the
think-
name. I whisper to Bea about
Which-
Lucina.
Yes. You wouldn't happen to know if there's a Lucina in court? My sire was asking after.
Rahela thinks of that. I think my sire mentioned her a few times. I've never met her. I don't think she's here.
Okay.
Okay.
That's all right. Thank you.
Who is she?
Someone that my sire was asking after. I'm afraid I don't know the details too much.
Oh. Right, so we won't keep you if you have, I don't know, want to chat among yourselves. I'm sure it's all very overwhelming. It certainly was to me.
Mm.
I don't know. I'm already annoyed the hell out of the Toreador Primogen. So what else to do? I don't know. Any person you would like us?
You would recommend, yes, would
Yes,
recommend us
I-
to chat, to meet.
Well, you've already talked to your Primogen, and I mostly talk to my sire and Elisa here. Yes, says Elisa. We spend quite a lot of time together.
That's good.
Let's see what we have here. I look in the room and I see if there's some kindred that catches my attention for some reason.
Not really. Most people have already left.
I try to look if I can get the Toreador Primogen child alone, if she is ever alone. So I
well, at the
probably-
moment she's gone. The Toreador Primogen is still there talking to somebody. She left. She is presumably somewhere in the hotel.
Oh, that could be interesting. And what if we have we try to find the fair and beautiful Toreador that apparently live her absolutely adorable sire here, and
The
have a
sheriff-
chat?
The sheriff did request that we not leave without speaking to
Oh,
him. I'm
yeah.
a little unclear as to whether that was the room or the hotel, but
Okay, no. Let's try not to get the sheriff notice us the first day.
yes,
Okay.
that might not go over well.
I don't know. There are other bruja for Janina to meet, to impress with her.
Janina
mighty
nods
power.
head that she doesn't want to meet anyone else
Okay.
unless it's
Rahela,
important.
that
You
there's
oh,
one working for the sheriff, but she's not here tonight.
Oh,
She is
that's good.
often very busy.
I'm not sure I can handle meeting more people of my clan.
Okay.
Rather.
I pat Janina on the arm.
okay, so my Primogen is not there and she will probably hate me. I have this gut feeling, so I can't introduce you.
Mara, as you are watching the room, you see a woman dressed elegantly in a brown knee-length skirt and a jacket in matching color, looking elegant but more professional rather than dressed for the evening, with glasses and hair pinned up. She's walking towards you.
Okay. I
She
I put-
ended the conversation with somebody, and she now turns towards you and starts walking your way.
I wait for her.
She comes towards Bea. Beatrice Woźniak.
Yes. Good evening.
Do you mind if we speak for a moment?
Not at all. I'll smile at the girls and then
I've
extricate myself from the group.
And she
admire.
leaves you.
I keep
Cool.
my eyes on her.
All
In
right,
case
so
I get
you're watching
lost.
them.
Yes.
I'm secretly very happy that it's not me that has to walk away.
So Bea walks away with her as Mara keeps an eye, and Rahela is still smiling at you. Eliza is looking with a warm expression, not quite smiling, but friendly. And I think before we have the conversation, we will take a break.
Yes. As always, I want to pee, so.
So
Just in
we
time.
will be back in about 15 minutes. Please stay with us. I hope you're enjoying this. We will see you soon.
Bye.
Bye.
And welcome back.
Bye.
Glad to still have you here with us, and let's jump back into our chronicle. When we left off, Bea walked away from the group with elegantly dressed woman who approached her. Mara is observing. Janina, what are you doing?
I think I'm trying to chat with Raquela,
Okay.
just like about some things, like what she was up to after we met with her, like if she met anyone from the Sabbat, or like some general like polite like talk.
So yeah, she answered that. No, I avoid Sabbath as much as I can. I don't want to encounter them. I wasn't up to much. There are a few things I'm looking for that I need to keep. So I leave to look for them. But apart from that, I was just staying here. My sire plays the piano so beautifully, and I read him poetry. He really likes that.
Oh, that's nice. Do you know who the woman is who took Bea?
I think it's some Ventro.
Oh, I don't think I met any Ventru. Unless if the prince is Ventru, I'm not sure right now.
Yes,
so,
she is.
yeah,
She is.
Yeah, okay. So besides her, but they look very like they have this feeling about them that I would, if I had to guess, I would definitely guess that she's a Ventru.
Would be a good guess.
Okay.
You see that as she talks about, going out and Sabbath, she looks scared and worried. And Eliza puts her arm around her.
How old the Raquel looks? Because she's
looks
the
about
like, teenage girl.
Yeah, well, even younger.
Even
she
less.
looks to be like 11, 12.
Yeah.
Very early teenage
That's
years.
very weird. Yeah. I will try to comfortingly smile at her, because even though I know that she's not a child, I subconsciously want to protect her. And treat her like a child or like a little sister.
So Mara wants to hide behind you if you get attacked.
I It's a
It seems
perfect
like it.
plan.
But I don't think she really thought it through, because I wouldn't stand very long. And I smile.
Well,
It's
longer
good that
than
you
me.
know that. I think it's
You-
best to run if you encounter them.
Yeah.
That's what I would do.
Yes.
Elisa
it's a good-
looks at her and at you. So would I, she says.
It's a good plan. It's a good plan.
I will look at Elisa. I want to say Eliza, but Elisa. And I just, may I ask how many of your clan are here, or if they are not here right now, but they are around in Warsaw?
She pauses for a moment, composes herself. I believe at the moment I am the only one
Oh,
that we know of.
I'm sorry.
expectations.
Do we know that the woman that died was also Tremere?
Yes,
I mentioned
yes, Bea said that.
Yeah. But I don't think I'm gonna mention. What if it was someone close to her? I don't want
we've
to.
met one.
I don't want to
and
hurt
she's
her.
dead now.
Womp womp.
Yeah, so I think Janina will keep this to herself.
Yes, as she says it, she kind of brings up this completely blank expression onto her face.
Mm.
And looks a bit distant. Meanwhile, Bea, the woman who approached you, as she's walking with you, says, "It is good to see you here. My name is Kornelia Ostrowska. My child always spoke very highly about you."
That's good to hear. I'm terribly sorry. Who was the child happened to be?
My child, Marcin. I believe you spent a lot of time together. I know
Yes.
we never got closely acquainted, but
Oh, of course.
was
No.
hoping you would tell me if you have any information about what happened to him. I was glad when I saw you. I thought maybe you know something. You know that if he's still alive.
Would you give me just one moment? And I will pull out my notebook and flick very far to the front.
She says, of course,
Yes.
and politely waits. And you flick, and you find information about Marcin, who was a venturer in your coterie. He was, from what you have written down, pretty serious person, but helpful, making sure you and all the rest of your coterie members would be safe. He arranged a lot of things for you. You have written down that you could always ask him for help.
Yes, we were close.
And you have information that he died when Arek betrayed all of you.
I take a moment to sort of, as I close the book, I take a moment and just the expression of almost grief and anger, but then I'll go back to being blank. Apologies. I just needed to make sure I was being entirely factual here. Yes, Martin and I were close. Unfortunately, I'm terribly sorry to say, but he was killed when a member of our coterie defected to the Sabbat. He betrayed us.
I feared he might have met final death.
I'm sorry for your loss.
Thank you. And I'm sorry for yours.
Thank you.
The one who betrayed you. Who
Yes.
was he?
His name was Arek.
Arek. The gangrel, I believe.
Yes. And a
Do
coward.
you know if he's still around?
I have my suspicions. I do not believe I've run into him of late, but if I do, I'll be sure to send regards.
I would appreciate that. And if I can help in any way, bringing him to justice, I would like to. I believe treachery should not be left unanswered.
No, it should not. Thank you. I shall keep that in mind.
You can count on my help in this.
And if you hear of anything, please let me know.
Of course. I think this is something we can agree on and cooperate on.
Absolutely.
I wish you all the best, Beatrice.
And you, ma'am.
I won't keep you any longer. Please enjoy your time here at the Elysium. And
I shall.
be safe when you're outside. Times are still very dangerous.
Absolutely. Have a pleasant evening.
You too. And with that, she leaves you. And I presume you walk back
Yes.
to your friends.
I will then scribble in the notebook very hurriedly that she has said she will help with regards to that matter, and circle it a few times as I'm walking.
All right, so Janina, Mara, you see that Bea finished talking fairly quickly, and she joins you in your group, just as you were talking to Eliza about her being the only one of her clan here.
Hey,
Good evening.
Bea, how are you feeling now?
Angry. I had almost forgotten Arek, but now he is back in my memory, and I can just feel the hatred bubbling up underneath that, but I'm doing my best to keep a poker face. And I'm quietly thinking about this Marson who was once close to me, who I had completely forgotten. That I will take a moment to mourn, I suppose, as I've been reminded of him.
And you are back with your sisters. Janina welcomes you.
do you know this woman? I ask. Yeah.
Her name is Cornelia Ostrowska. I don't know whether I mentioned before, but I had a coterie before I met you ladies. Her child was a part of that coterie.
Oh.
She was asking after him.
Oh.
I unfortunately had to bring her bad news.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
Are you okay?
I'm fine, darling. Thank you for asking.
All right. If you ever need to, I'm here for you. If you need to talk.
Thank you. I know, darling.
Maybe Mara seems about to say something, but she stops. Well, Any other people we should meet?
There doesn't seem to be anyone, obviously, interested. Eliza, as you look around, looking to Rahela, just like, oh no, don't worry, I'm okay. Rahela smiles at her, giving her what's supposed to be a reassuring smile, but on a young child's face.
Wow.
And around the time you see the door to where the prince left open, and Lucian comes through.
As he's approaching, I'll turn to Eliza and Rahela and say, well, thank you very much for your conversation this evening. It's greatly appreciated.
Yes.
But I believe we have a conversation with the sheriff.
It was good to see you. I'm usually here. Eliza also smiles. I'm here all the time. So if you need something, feel free to contact me. Unless it's something very reckless, then I'd like to be left out, if you don't mind.
That is quite understandable.
Why I feel personally attacked by this, I have no idea.
She just smiles at you, not unfriendly, just sort of amused.
Yeah.
And with that, around that time, Lucian approaches you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening. I'm sorry to break up the conversation, but me and our new arrivals have few things to discuss. I'm sure you can take it up later. I won't occupy you for very long. Lisa looks to him, bows, says, of course, and just walks away. Rahela follows, almost copying her in what she does. She looks back and smiles at you as she walks away. She waves.
Janina definitely waves back.
And you see them continuing to talk somewhere. Lucian looks to you. Sorry for keep you waiting for so long. I trust you had a pleasant time here.
It was insightful.
We have a blast.
We met a very lot interesting kindred.
I imagine it can be a bit overwhelming at the moment, but rest assured, I'm sure you will learn everyone's names soon, or at least everyone you will interact with more often. Before we proceed, do you require any nourishment?
I'm fine, thank you.
Well, I will not say no to some.
I will probably decline
dinner.
from politely.
So Janina declines.
Yes.
All right. And Mara, you said, what did you say? Sorry.
I wouldn't mind. Let's see.
No problem at all. Please follow me. If you could wait, it won't take long.
Of course.
Yes, of course.
And he leads you, Mara, towards the door he came through, the one behind which both the prince and Zygmunt disappeared. He leads you through the door, leads you down the corridor, also lined with white carpet, similar to the ones you walked before, and turns into a small room that is arranged as some kind of an office. It has a desk, a chair, some shelves with folders on them, but not much else. And he picks up the phone, presses, dials something. Yes, please send over one person. And just pulls it back. It will just be a moment.
Okay. Room service.
And a moment later, an elegantly dressed man, one of the ones who are working at the hotel that you've seen around, enters. Lucian smiles. Thank you very much for coming so quickly. If you don't mind, our guest here requires nourishment. And the guy just, with not a word, just comes to you and leans back his head so that you can drink from him.
Okay. Mara is a little taken aback by this. She never seen something like that, so it's like, oh, okay. Okay, I'm not used to this. After a moment, she almost awkwardly bites into the man.
So you bite.
Yes, she is a bit awkward right now because
Yeah. It's not something you are used to.
yes, she is used to scare people.
But
so-
Lucian looks entirely comfortable with this, and man looks to know exactly what is happening and don't have any qualms about that, at least that you can see. And the taste of Vita fills your mouth and almost overwhelms you. How much blood do you have at the moment?
4.
You have 4
Do
blood.
not make a faux pas.
So please roll me self-control. With difficulty, I think at the moment 5. You're fairly safe environment.
What I have to roll?
Self-control.
I spent willpower.
All right.
Just to be safe.
Yeah.
4 successes.
No problem. Blood is absolutely delightfully delicious, but you can control yourself. And how much do you take?
Enough not to kill him if I...
You can take 2 safely.
Okay. I take 2.
So you drink. Make the wound close. Lucian nods to them and thank you very much. The man just bows. Walks out. Lucian smiles at you. Shall we return to the rest? I hope that was enough.
Of course. Thank you.
Meanwhile, Janina, Bea, you are left on your own as Mara walks away with Lucian.
I'll have linked arms with Janina. How are you feeling?
Well, I think better than before. I feel more comfortable here. Also, maybe because I think we will soon go home.
That's fair.
But so far, we met all of the people we met, except maybe the Toreador one, polite, and
We'll have to have a discussion on the way home, but yes, I think that's mostly went well.
I think the Bruja Primogen was very nice, and he seemed honest. Like, I know that's probably not true, but I don't know. I have a good feeling about him.
I'll be sure to keep my eye on him then.
Yeah, and I was glad that we met Raquel and Eliza.
Yes, they both seem pleasant.
Yes.
I do like civilized company.
Yeah.
And so, Lucian and Mara return and join you. Lucian smiles politely. I must inform you, normally feeding is prohibited on the grounds of the hotel unless you receive a special permission.
I thought he's gonna charge her.
No.
That is good to know.
But I thought it only polite to offer, since this is your first visit.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Let's find somewhere where we can talk more privately and in peace.
Yes.
You must be tired of standing around. Please follow me.
Of course.
And he leads you towards the main door through which you entered, and back the same way you came through the elegant corridors. But when you walk down the stairs, you don't go quite into the lobby, but you stop one story above on the balcony that was overlooking it, where he leads you to one of the sides of the balcony that goes all the way around. As you walk there, you can see some people downstairs, some walking in a manner that clearly indicates that they are drunk. Not too drunk, but definitely tipsy. Someone is laughing. You can smell cigarette smoke as you pass some people. There is a piano playing quite far away, presumably in the cafe. And as you walk, you have a good view of the elegant big chandelier, as its light is sparkling and reflecting off the many crystals that decorate it. And Lucian leads you towards one of the tables that are on this balcony. On a few others, there are still some people that are chatting, but the one you're at there isn't anyone in the immediate vicinity, and you can talk privately without fear of being overheard by mortals who are at the hotel. So he sits down. There are chairs for you as well.
I'll take a seat.
Mara sits.
Janina sits. If there's enough space, she will sit too. If not, she'll stand.
I'm afraid I won't be able to offer you as much time to simply enjoy our premises and society as I'd like. We will have a task for you. I'm still finalizing the details. But I would like to talk to you tomorrow evening when I get all the necessary information.
Yes, sir. Will that be here in the hotel?
Yes, I can. You will want to return to your haven, I presume.
Yes, sir.
Yes, of course.
I will, obviously, offer you transport there.
Thank you very much, sir.
When you return, you should inform Felicia and Roman that they are to present themselves to the prince tomorrow. We will pick you up.
Very well. Thank you, sir.
At 9 o'clock.
Thank you.
Oh, it's not a problem. You can expect all sorts of accommodations and comfort when you are working for us. Just don't get too used to it.
No, wouldn't dream of it.
But as long as you are to perform a task or a service, you can count on our help. And you will, of course, be rewarded for your efforts in an appropriate manner of your choosing. If you ever need to find me, aside from tomorrow evening, look for me in the room 314 or somewhere in the cafe, the lobby, general area. If you can't find me, there is a man at reception called Mariusz. He's the bald one. He's one of our ghouls. You can always ask him and he will get a message to me.
Thank you, sir.
Do you have any other questions?
I presume that this is a period of heightened security, given the current climate. Are there any extra rules that we should be aware of?
Well, not extra rules as such, except I would advise you to be careful and vigilant, but I'm sure you've learned that lesson during your time. You managed very well. It's nothing in terms of laws, but don't bring anyone here without our permission. You can give them, if you encounter any other kindred, you can give them the number you got from Rahela. They will be able to contact us like you did.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
We are all much more involved in the efforts to fight the Sabbat and protect our society in various ways that may be required in the process. So you can expect more tasks and requests than you normally would get if we were at peace.
Very well.
I should also point out, and forgive me this rudeness, but the way two of your companions, Beatrice, are dressed, while I appreciate the effort, I think it's a bit too memorable for the mortals who frequent the hotel. We would appreciate if you could present yourself in a manner that wouldn't draw attention to you from the local community. I mean no offense.
Of course
just
not.
practicality.
No offense taken. I'll do my best to.
Janina doesn't say anything, but she thinks, well, if I didn't try, it would be better.
Is there anything else you require?
No, I believe that's everything that I had to ask. I don't know if you ladies had anything else to add.
No, I have nothing.
Would you like to go back now, or do you want to stay in a hotel for a bit longer?
I think that we should probably return home.
What time is it?
You have like a few hours still. You could linger a bit longer if you wanted to do something.
Bea was looking at Janina when she said, I think it would be best if we returned.
Yes, we will return.
Janina doesn't say anything, just nods.
Well, we'll be back tomorrow evening anyway. So.
Yes.
Of course. Make sure Felicia and Roman are ready to go.
Absolutely.
The prince wants to see them as soon as possible. Please follow me. I will arrange for your transport.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thanks.
And he leads you down the stairs into the lobby, comes to the reception, and indeed speaks to a bald man there, dressed, this elegant suit you saw all the workers at the hotel wear, who makes a call. Lucian comes back to you. I'm afraid I must be going. Duty calls.
Thank you very much for your time.
But someone will be here shortly.
Thank you. Have a
I will
pleasant
see
evening.
you. You too. I will see you tomorrow.
Take care.
Bye.
And he walks away. And you wait there for a moment. What are you thinking about? How are you feeling? Janina, what's on your mind?
I'm happy that we are going to be home soon. And I'm not very excited for being back here tomorrow, especially when he said there's gonna be more tasks. Well, I'm fine. I just cursed myself that I had an idea to dress. Next time I will keep my usual dress and it will be fine because I dress very, very boringly.
Well, you wore a dress from a theater, so
Yeah.
that stood out from the
Yeah,
crowd that frequents. How about you, Belle? What's on your mind?
I am desperately trying all of the names and information and all of the things that we've been told in my head. And also aware that I need to have a conversation with the girls in a minute. But it's been a long evening. And I'm, as good as it has been to be here, I'm looking forward to being home.
How about you, Mara?
Mara is thinking about part of her is thinking about what she's going to dress for the next evening. But she also very uncertain of what to do because now that this is all over, she has to think again about what to do with her theater and she has no idea what to do. So she's not eager to go back, but she knows she has to. She also would like to ask about Bea coterie, but she don't know when will be the appropriate moment to have this conversation.
Okay. So your mind goes back to your theater and wonders about Bea's past and loss. And soon, a man comes towards you. He's a man in his 40s, just like some drivers that you saw already, parking outside the hotel. He bows to you. I believe I am to transport you to your home. Please follow me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
And he leads you towards car. You have one space at the front, two at the back. Where should I take you?
I'll give him the rough neighborhood, but not the street. Well, I'll give him a street in the neighborhood,
Okay.
but not our street.
Okay. He just nods.
And I'll gesture for the girls to get in the back, and I'll go and sit in the front.
You get in, and he starts driving. He's not saying anything, he's just focused.
I pull out my notebook and start making all of the notes as hurriedly as possible while they're still fresh in my head.
So you're writing in your notebook. The writing will be very unclear. It is. The car shakes a bit. It is quite dark. As you are driving towards the museum that you recognize, and Poniatowski Bridge, that you've crossed a few times now, and then towards the Praga district, into more familiar area. The man is not saying anything, just driving you there, until he reaches the street, the name of which you gave him. He asks for a direction a few times as you're close. But he knows this area clearly. And when he stops, he just says, "Is that where you want to be picked up from tomorrow?"
Yes, that would be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you.
We will be here.
Thank you.
Excellent. Have a pleasant evening.
Thank you. You as well.
I will get out the car.
Have a safe way home, I will say, and I will also get out of the car.
Thank you.
I'll wait until the car has left before I start turning into a certain direction.
He drives away pretty quickly.
Yep.
And you are just three of you alone. It's quite empty. It's late. People are not up yet to get to work, but hardly anyone lingers that late at this time.
We should return.
Yes, let's return with the good news.
Yeah, Alicia will be pleased.
Yes. Before we get back to the Haven, I have something I've been meaning to say to you, but I didn't want to do it in society. You're aware that I can enhance my senses? Hearing, smell, any of those things?
Yes, you do that, yes.
Yes. Others of our kind are able to do it as well. So please do not insult anyone when we are in the room with them.
Good point.
Yeah.
I am distinctly worried as to what that might bring for us, but
if is our distinguished Primogen that worries you, and it's probably wise that this worries you. It will probably focus on me. So
I don't want any of it to be focused on any of us.
That will be probably the best, but I think that some social friction, let's say, between me and him will be inevitable at some point for, let's say, reasons of personalities. But I don't think anything particularly bad will happen while we are at war with us. After that, I don't know.
I admire your optimism.
I think that for now they are more interested in having cannon fodder for their war. Even beautiful hair. But let's see. Let's see how it goes.
Well, I probably won't remember to be cautious.
I will be careful of what I say.
Thank you.
Janina will. I'm sorry. Finish.
I don't want anything to happen to any of you.
Like, I'm the same.
Janina nods, but inside she doesn't regret it because she just hates this kind of man. So she doesn't regret it. But for Bea's sake, she just
in general, your advice is wise. The problem is, I think, will probably present itself sooner or later, because they expect from me something I am not. They expect me to crawl in the darkness, afraid of the light. That is not what I am. And just being me will probably be an insult to people like him. So some friction and some social games will happen sooner or later.
Yes.
If my primogen don't kill me first. That is a very true possibility, in my opinion.
Janina very, very much admires Aurora for her
Mara.
Mara for
Crossing fourth walls.
her
Yeah.
and for saying it so openly.
Yes, well, as much as I did not appreciate the gentleman's rudeness, please just don't go insulting him directly. That's all I'm requesting. And then I look to Janina, and please do not say you're going to punch him in the room full of
But it was
supernatural
a joke.
No, you know that.
Oh yeah, but you know
Mara laughed.
this would what I would say to him if he can come to me.
I've already
I'm
lost
allowed
one
to joke.
coterie. I've already lost one coterie. I'm not losing a second.
We're
not
not
going
going
without a fight.
Well, we're not going anywhere.
That's what they
Okay.
said.
Yes, I imagine, but no, that probably was already said before, but this time it's going to be different. I hope.
Well, I've said my piece.
Well, I will be good, but I will hope that he will die in a Sabbath raid.
Oh, you can hope that all you like. Just don't vocalize it.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, I will.
Right, sorry.
No, you're right.
I'll be fine. Thank you. Let's go home.
Yeah.
Okay, first of all, let's talk to Mother and guest about our encounter.
So you start walking back, and soon you reach your haven. You see that the lights are on inside in the living room.
Get out the key and let yourselves in.
Yeah, so as you come in, you see Felicia in her armchair, knitting, very focused on her knitting, looking at it, very immersed in what she's doing. And you see Roman sitting on the other side of the room with a string between his hands, wrapped on his fingers in a cat's cradle, changing, making various string figures and looking at them angrily, very focused on this. And as you walk in, he looks towards you, and Felicia raises her head.
Good evening.
Good evening, girls.
Good evening.
Good evening,
I'm
Felicia.
so glad to see you back.
I drop obfuscate. So,
It is good to see you too.
How did it go?
As well as it could have. We've made contact with the Camarilla. We went to Elysium. We are going to be picked up tomorrow evening to return there. They've requested you and Roman's presence.
Roman snorts at it. You see that he's still went back to his bit of string and he's still looking at it very angrily, changing the figures on his between his hands. But he's listening. Attentive.
Good.
You have
Felicia.
to present to the prince,
Mm.
apparently.
I am very glad to be invited back.
Of
I'm
course.
still not feeling very well, but since someone is picking us up,
Yes,
that should make things easier.
indeed. We spoke with Bruno.
Oh. How is he?
He seemed distracted, but
Oh, Bruno
he's alive.
always
his-
carries so much pain in him. I'm afraid there is no escape. Although I
Yes.
tried to help always, as much as I could.
Indeed. His child, Rahela, seems to be close with him. She seems to look out for him as well.
It's good he has somebody to rely on.
I asked after Lucina. I'm afraid I forgot to ask Bruno directly, but apparently she's been mentioned by him, but I don't know what's...
Of course she's been mentioned by him. She is our sire.
Ah, right. He's also not sure where Estera might be. He doesn't know.
I really hoped she would have found her way to the Camarilla. But I suppose maybe I'll still be able to find her. Maybe she's somewhere out there.
We can continue our efforts, and we at least now have the protection of the Camarilla.
How did your introduction go? I take it everything was well.
Yes, everything was fine.
Absolutely.
And I look at Bea.
The Bruja Primogen seems to have taken a shine to Janina.
Yes,
well.
he seems like a very nice gentleman, from what I could tell.
Is any of you paying closer attention to Felicia as she's talking?
Usually, yes.
Then roll a perception and empathy.
Oh boy. What's the difficulty here?
A 6. I'm gonna roll for her as well.
Okay. Does insightful count?
Oh, yes. I would say so, yes.
Okay, then 4 successes.
4 successes. Alright, so you see that she is mostly focused on you, and she is genuinely interested and happy to have you here. But she's feeling a bit uneasy about something. There is this unease. She's glancing to Roman from time to time. There is pain, some kind of shame, it seems to you, in there.
Is everything all right, Mother?
Yes. There's nothing you need to worry about. I'm just working through some things, but everything will be all right.
Yes, Mother.
Roman raises his head, and it sure will be. He just
Okay.
says, and goes back to his cat's cradle.
Roman, don't hold back your dissatisfaction so hard. Feel free to speak. What's happening?
None of my business, apparently. It's fine.
Yes,
I'll leave you to have your chat and share your exploits with us. Sorry, I'm in a foul mood. I am glad you made it back safely.
Thank you.
No,
It's good to see you
haven't-
too.
Yes. Well, everything gone perfectly fine. Bea was perfect.
Yeah, she was great.
Janina
Like she
was,
belonged there.
Yes. Janina.
Oh, there, I knew. I'm so proud. It's Felicia.
Thank you, Mother.
Janina also did a very good impression of on this distinguished gentleman, and everything was fine.
Somebody gave you some trouble, didn't they?
We
I'm
have
sorry, you said
feelings about
everything
it.
was fine so many times in one sentence. It made me think something was distinctly fucked.
The Toreador
depends,
Primogen is a very rude individual.
Yeah.
I had so
And
much.
Aren't they all? I thought the other Primogen buggered off.
I don't know. This one might be new. Mikhail? Orlov?
Nah, that wasn't a Primogen. But I remember, it's this Russian fuck, isn't it?
Yes, we
Suppose
had,
that's my pick.
you know,
Yeah, he's pretty much like most of them. I'd still clear of him if I were you.
Yes, we
Of
should
most
do
of
that.
clan, for that matter.
let's
Yeah.
say that we have a complicated relationship and we know each other for minutes. So it will be a long.
Felicia looks to you, more serious. Mara, darling, what did you do?
Me? Nothing. We were just knowing each other. Let's. I mean, probably I was a bit rude when I thought he wasn't listening, but
Oh, he deserved it.
honestly, I don't regret it as much as I should, probably. It sparked some interesting conversation between us.
Well,
And,
I'm sure conversation was very rewarding, my dear, but I am afraid whether you feel bad or not, the polite thing would be to apologize. I will try to smooth things over when I'm there.
no, don't worry. Let's
I need to take care of
deal with it.
and
Don't worry, it's nothing serious. You know, there's
did you
just
offend
one.
him? Did you
What?
offend him? Did you offend him in any way?
No.
Not more than he offended you.
Nah, we were just having fun.
Lisa
You
frowns
know-
at that. Roman just, well, fuck me.
You know, there is a
I kind of
spotlight.
wish I'd been there to see that, but you're
Oh.
screwed.
I'm screwed the moment I will meet our primo again, I think. So,
Yeah, Promotion was and from what I saw of him, he was a pretty nasty motherfucker.
Oh no,
I tried
you're-
to steer clear of him as well.
Oh no, there's a new one.
What do you know? Sign of the times, I suppose.
Oh, that would be Wolf.
He looks at you, he just bursts out laughing. Like he puts himself together, it's like, oh, well, fuck me with a wooden stake. Wolf is a Primogen.
yes.
He
She
sits
wasn't there.
at the chair, more proudly. Well, I guess that makes me really fucking important. Feel free to bow in your free time.
Janina will bow.
I will also bow.
He just laughs.
Uh,
I'm either very lucky or even more screwed than you are, Mara, and you are very, utterly, completely screwed. And he just starts
Oh.
laughing again at that.
Marala. You know, I have this creeping feeling that my clan will not like me much. But probably it's just a feeling.
Felicia looks to you. Mara, my dear, you are a capable young woman, and I'm sure your clan will appreciate that.
Yes.
But you need to think about how you're behaving. You might think it is funny or harmless to engage in some kind of conflict with the Toreador Primogen. But believe me, these people, they might not seem dangerous, but they can be very dangerous, and you don't want to cross the line with them. I only say that because I care. I know it must be difficult for you to be thrown into that environment, and I appreciate he might have said very unkind words that, in my opinion, do not befit, but such is the world they are. All the others are more important than you, and most of them are more important than I am, and they will act accordingly, and you have to learn to navigate that without aggravating any of them. I would hate to see you hurt. She looks genuinely concerned.
You are. I'll tell you what I told to the adorable Clemens. You are very kind, and I thank you. You're very kind, and you always have been only kind to me, and I appreciate. I will do my best to not endanger in any way, nor you, nor one of my sisters. I don't want anything to happen to them. Problem is, with some people, like our distinguished Toreador Primogen, some sort of conflict. I don't mean in a fighting combat way, but let's say more like a social struggle will be unavoidable, and I will be not so how can I say this? I am not telling you that I'm just the pure Nosferatu who has been insulted, and so I was so hurt and reply back to him. It's not that. If I have to be honest, it's just because we both have one thing in common. The worst thing we can have in common. We crave for attention. And that will
My dear,
make us collide.
The difference between you two is that he now has a very comfortable position.
Yes.
Very high in our society. And you are a newcomer.
Yes.
And very young one at that. And I don't think you quite realize that social conflicts in our society can turn deadly very quickly.
I suspect I'll find out very soon.
You will not find out anything because I will smooth things over.
No,
we will make
I don't
sure.
want to involve you. You are not to be involved. Nor you, nor Bea, nor Janina.
Maybe he didn't even hear it, so. I mean.
If he has some sort of. He will probably want to play with me. And that's fine. I don't want for him to think that hurting you is a way to play with me. So, not engage him on my behalf, because it only puts a target on you. He feels as cruel as I think he is.
I don't know him personally that well, but I know many of his clowns can be very cruel.
I also, surprisingly enough, his child seems to be rather nice.
I believe I don't know his child.
A very an extremely and stunningly beautiful woman. You will recognize her. But don't worry, there's nothing for now. It's only something to think, not an immediate danger. Also because I don't think he really think of us as a danger to him.
Oh, I'm sure he
For now.
wouldn't. I'm just worried he would decide to crush you for his perverted pleasure. They are like that. These are very dangerous people you are dealing with. Maybe I didn't prepare you enough. Bea, what do you think of all this? I should never have let you go alone. That was a mistake.
I will learn on the battlefield.
I'm concerned. But I'll be honest, I'm not even remembering exactly what they said at this point.
Of course, I understand.
I've had a lot to note down.
Yes, it must have been a really overwhelming experience. I'm sorry I wasn't there.
It's fine, Mother. I believe I noted it down in the car, although I might need to go back over it and fix it. But on some better news, a venture called Cornelia Ostrowska approached me. She was Marcin's sire.
Oh, right, of course. Yes, I remember her.
She was asking after him, so I had to bring her the bad news. However, she has offered any aid in regards to bringing Arak to justice.
I would expect she would. This is only appropriate and, well, the only thing I'd expect from her, really. I do hope we will be able to deal with him. I am concerned he still might pose a danger to you, were he to come across you. And he should answer for what he did to your friends. I wouldn't have it any other way.
He will.
She reaches towards you to bring you closer, to hug you.
I'll lean into it and continue going through the notebook, and try to bring them up to speed as much as I can.
So you recount what was happening, whom you encountered. Janina, as you're standing there, not saying much, Roman comes up to you.
Yes, my dear.
Well, how did you enjoy all of that?
Well, could be worse. At first it was quite overwhelming, and a lot of the people how to say it, do not sound mean, but they seemed like posers. But at the end it wasn't as bad.
They're all fake.
The Toreador, the rest was pretty well. I don't think I felt awkward after I met some of the other kindred. Like, there was a Nosferatu, Clemens. I'm not sure if you know him.
Clemens. There was a guy like that. Yeah, he was.
And we found out that there is also a dancer, Nosferatu. We didn't meet him, but he used to be a famous dancer.
I think there was something like this that I've heard of, but I didn't really pay much attention, to be honest. You won't find me dancing or searching for a partner, for that matter.
Yeah, sure. But at the end, it wasn't as bad. But I'm certainly happy I'm back home and with the people that I trust.
Yeah, it's better. Well, since I'm now the child of Primogen, I'm sure
you're
I'll
a
be
celebrity.
able to help you out in all sorts of ways. Fear nothing. All of you fear nothing. And he just bursts out laughing again and shakes his head.
All right. I'm just gonna quickly go undress because apparently, at first, this dress is not very comfortable for me, and secondly, next time I should be wearing something more, or maybe less obvious.
Yeah, you look like you just walked off the stage.
Okay, maybe I'm another celebrity. Now, and I will try to dance with him like he's the celebrity and I'm also the celebrity.
You're trying to dance with him, and he actually leans into it and leads
I think
you.
Mara has a lot of fun watching because
He is very strong. He actually sweeps you off the floor and turns around and then turns you a few times. There isn't much grace to it, but it's a fairly good parody
but I think
of
Janina's
dance
having
moves.
fun.
After which he swirls you so that you sit on the sofa. And he leans in.
You should
My dear,
do this
allow
tomorrow.
me. And he kisses your hand. And just laughs.
I will also laugh and I tell him that's certainly something you should do tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And I clap for him. And then I get
he
up
just
and
laughs. Right, well, I think I'll be going. How are we getting there tomorrow?
We're getting a car pickup at, I name the street. I think it was 9 o'clock, they said.
Yeah, it was 9 o'clock.
Yep, at 9 o'clock.
Well, I will see you at 9 o'clock then. I just glances to Felicia for a moment, shakes his head. Well, I'm glad you're back.
It's good to see you.
Yeah, see you tomorrow.
Indeed.
We are looking forward to see the child of the prodigy tomorrow.
He's just laughing. He just walks out laughing, shaking his head.
After he leaves, I'm gonna go and change my dress to my usual boring, torn clothing.
So you go to get changed.
I don't know whether the sheriff is different from when we were last in society, but it's a man named Lucian. And he seems polite.
No, he was not a sheriff before. I believe he was a hound. Must have lost the previous one.
What clan is he? If I may ask.
Lucian was of Clan Toreador.
Oh, that figured.
Quite different from many of them, from what I remember.
He at least seems like a gentleman, if nothing else.
He always was.
Actually work.
We met with.
Back.
It is good to be back, Mother.
Sorry, I interrupted you. You were saying.
Oh, not at all. We met with a Tremere woman named Elisa. She also seems pleasant. She seems to get on with Bruno's child, Rahela.
Elisa. I've never heard of her, but then I was never close with the Tremere, and they mostly kept to themselves.
I think she said she is the only of her clan in the city. Was that right?
Yes, that was she said when I asked.
Yes.
The only one?
Yes.
Unfortunately, yes.
She looks scared for a moment. Well, that certainly wasn't the case before that. Most unfortunate. Hopefully, whatever happened will not affect either of you.
I suppose we'll find out tomorrow.
I always knew
Well, yes.
during the war.
Sorry?
It's just I always knew that we've lost many during the war.
Mm.
It's just quite the shocking news, that's it. I'm so sorry you had to be there on your own. I really feel like I should have been there for you.
Not at all,
Don't
Mother.
worry.
It was a good experience, if nothing else. A learning experience.
Absolutely. And Bea was more than up to the task. I can attest this.
Oh, I would obviously expect it.
I'm the bad girl, so
Felicia,
Anyway.
can I ask you about what kind of tasks do you think they can give us? Because I don't know. I would like to know what to expect.
Oh, I would like to be able to help, but there's all sorts of possibilities. It might be securing some resources. I don't think they would give you anything too dangerous.
Okay.
That would not be appropriate, but then I guess we never know.
Yeah, I just really don't know what to expect if they
Looking
want
for
to.
someone, might be trying to trace something.
Oh.
There's all sorts of tasks.
Well, after
in my
what
time, the
we
city
said
was
today that we can do, let's see what they will give us.
What did you say you could do? I hope you didn't make any exaggerated promises.
absolutely never.
I just told them the truth.
Oh, that's good. That's good. And they should see in time that you are all very capable.
Because I'm really not sure what else
Hopefully,
do.
this unpleasant business with Sabat will end soon. And, well, the city was never exactly safe, but back before the war, you could just be left alone if you wish to.
I suppose we shall find out soon enough.
Yes, that for sure. Well,
I will go start getting ready to sleep and maybe read for a bit. You girls can, of course, talk, and I'm so glad you did well. I'm sure any misunderstanding and offenses, if they come to light, will be resolved. I will do what I can.
Can I help you to the room, Mother?
Oh, please, I'm still rather weak. So that she tried to stand up, almost forgetting, but then that was there still, not fully recovered.
I offer her my arm.
She leans on it, not quite as much as she did the previous night when she was much more visibly unwell, but she still takes your help and goes with you to the room. And do you rejoin?
I'll stay with her for a while, see if she wants to speak about anything else, but I'll probably come back through to say goodnight.
Okay, with her. She undoes her hair. Now her long grey hair just falls to the almost to like half her back. She smiles. You did very well tonight, my dear.
Thank
I
you,
am
Mother.
very proud of you. Just be a moment. I have something for you.
Yes, Mother.
And she takes out a little glass, crystal glass, sort of like a vodka glass, very small. Takes a little knife and opens her hand. It's all familiar to you. You've seen this before. You know this. She feels the glass. Gives it to you. That's for you, my dear. You've done so well.
Thank you, Mother. And I will take it, and I will drink it.
It tastes so much better than the myrtle blood you normally drink. It's delicious. It's familiar. It gives you comfort.
Thank you, Mother.
I know you take good care of your sisters. I must say I am worried about Mara. I don't think she quite realizes the gravity in some situations, but I know you're doing the best you can to help that.
I am worried about both of them.
Do you
And I'm-
need something as well?
Bea almost goes to say no and then can't bring herself to do so. She made a passing joke about punching a certain individual.
The infamous Primogen. Must have really rattled your nerves. They have that talent, the toreadors. I give them that.
Yes, he was spectacularly rude. I pity his child. She seemed sorry for her sire's behavior.
I'll make sure I pay close attention to her when I see her.
She is very sad, Mother. Be cautious. She carries a lot of pain.
Oh, I will be. Maybe I can help a little bit.
Hopefully.
I need to. You know how I hate to see others suffer.
I hope that one day I can help the way that you can.
I'm sure you will. Oh. Do you remember what I showed you?
I think I do, yes.
I am a bit agitated right now. Would you like to?
Is that typical?
Yes. Yes, I would like to.
Help me.
Yes, Mother. And I will try to copy what she showed me earlier.
So, you are trying, but you're trying to calm her.
Yes.
There is a nervousness that she stops hiding now. She is agitated. She feels uncomfortable. And you try to reach in and share the calmness. So roll, please, your charisma and empathy, and tell me what you got on those dice.
What is the difficulty I'm aiming for?
It is normally it's her humanity, but I'm gonna make it slightly higher. But I'd rather not disclose the humanity
Very well.
of NPCs. So just give me the results, and I will.
Oh boy! Well, I've rolled 3 10s, a 9, an 8, and a 1.
Wow. Okay.
Oh boy. Okay, so a lot.
A lot. 9, 8, and 1. Okay. Right. Okay. All right. So you look at her, and she trying to calm this discomfort, and she looks at you much calmer. Oh, I feel so much better.
I'm glad.
Oh, it's gone. She looks a bit confused. Of course you should be careful when and how you use it. Some people might not appreciate. But you've done so well. I am very proud. And you made me feel so much better.
I'm glad, Mother. I will go say goodnight to the girls.
Please do. I will just be getting ready. Meanwhile, Mara and Janina, you are left alone in the living room. Bea went with her sire to their bedroom, and she's clearly staying there for a while.
Well. Now I'm back to my previous problem. What the hell I'm going to do with my theater?
Maybe you can dream about getting the Primogen into the grounds of the theater once they will rebuild upon it.
Oh, that will be fine. That will be. But I don't know. I don't know if he would be a good foundation for my theater. But jokes aside, now
He was a joke.
It's truly all gone. I cannot stop the constructions, and I don't know if I will, if anybody could.
Well,
I don't know.
you will see. Maybe you will make some friends who can at least postpone it for a bit.
I don't know.
I don't know. I never felt so much tie to any place that it would mean so much to me. So it's kind of hard for me to get the same feeling that you have. And, because for me, I would just let go and I would concentrate on other things. Because there is so much you can do.
What?
You can certainly be the most beautiful Nosferatu there is in Warsaw. Don't let the Storyteller make you think otherwise.
But this is going to put you in danger. It will come a time. You will realize that it could hurt you to toy with me.
Well, nobody should be afraid to get a little hurt if it's for the good, for protecting the ones you care about.
So you're ready to face the mob of angry toreadors.
Of course
for
I am.
the sake of beauty.
Well, of course I am.
That's what I like to hear.
But he's just one man. Like, I know they say he's powerful and the Primogen, but like, so far, he didn't make an impression on me. So until I see him doing something that I would find scary or traumatizing, he's just a jerk for me. But of course, I'm not gonna. I don't want to put anyone in danger. So if Felicia will want us to apologize, I will apologize. But it doesn't mean that I will stop trying to find a way to humiliate him.
I wish so much he could have heard you say that is a joke.
One day,
so
maybe if we will try to be good and maybe apologize and smooth things out, then we can hurt him in the future, powerful and better
It's a
equipped.
game. It's all a game. It's all a game. It's all a game.
It's all
We
a game.
just have to plan the right moves.
I just guess that the powerful vampires, they are bored. They don't have anything to do because they are so old and they have these petty struggles. So, I mean, we can play their game.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. And we can, yes, we have something here. We can do things. I don't want his child to be hurt at all. She seemed like
I
a
didn't
good
notice
girl.
her much, but if you say she isn't the same as him,
No, she's just
maybe she's
fool.
just another victim of
Yes,
his.
she's just a very in love fool.
I wonder if she's really in love or it's some kind of powers he
Probably.
uses on her.
Probably. I will find out sooner or later.
You are really eager to meet her, aren't you?
I'm sorry for her. I don't like men treating someone like a doll.
Yes, that we can agree on. That's
That's
definitely one reason why I really hate him. Because
Yes.
he seemed like a man that I despised in life. So
Around the time there, you step out.
Oh,
What did I miss?
well, nothing. Just chit chat.
yeah, just girly chit chat.
Exactly.
I'll come back in and sit down.
Seriously, to answer your question, Janina, it's difficult because I don't know how to explain this properly, probably, but really, what I was is in that place. Let go for me means what I am, what I have, what I do. My question. All the jokes and the spotlight and the fights with Toreadors aside, my question is always the same. What's the point of me now? What's the whole point? Why I exist? I was a performer. I was an actress. What now?
But that's not all you were.
I can play. I keep playing, but playing for what? For whom?
Well, I just think you should stop trying to play someone and just be yourself and don't look for anything to do in your life on life. Just
Janina, myself is dead. Myself died.
You didn't die. You kind of did, but you're still here. You can think. You can create art. You're not a ghost that can't touch things or create. I'm sure you can create. Maybe you could express yourself through art other than like acting. Maybe try something else. Try writing poems or writing maybe some plays that you could then mail and be famous, but not for who you are, but for your fake personality that can have a secret spotlight.
Does your work with the radio? help?
Mm.
Does
I
it
have
help?
the radio, right? Yes, but I don't know. Maybe this whole Camarilla thing will give me something,
Yes,
a new identity, something to do, something, a goal,
I
a
think
purpose.
you could belong very well there once you manage to play their game better, to always be polite and not let pretentious jerks souring your mood.
Ah,
I think like with time, I can definitely see you being there, a part of the higher society.
Mara,
yes.
I will probably never understand what it is to cling to what was before. It's not something that I can picture for myself, so that makes it difficult for me to imagine what that must be like for you. But I am very much a new person now, and I've been here a while, and you can find purpose. You can find purpose in hundreds of little things, even if it's not a big thing. Part of my purpose now is keeping an eye on you both.
Well, we are keeping you busy.
Oh, absolutely, but I wouldn't change it for the world. You're very dear to me.
Group hug.
I will stand up and go to hug.
Yeah.
Oh,
And you hug each other as you start feeling tired, knowing that the sun will be rising soon.
We should call it. We should turn in.
Yes, we
Yes.
should. I already feel very, very stiff.
I'll see you ladies tomorrow evening.
Yes,
Sleep well.
I promise I will be as good as I can because I don't
Yes.
want to worry you or Felicia.
Well, if it makes you feel
Well,
any better, I probably won't remember by the morning.
Oh, that's right.
There.
Hmm?
You are the older, but that doesn't mean that you can't rely on us. You know that.
Thank you, dear.
I will not ask questions. I have questions. I will not ask them.
You're
If
welcome
you
to
want-
ask me. I just might not answer.
Yes.
What did
I
you
will-
do yesterday?
You don't know anything about that.
I think that was said out of character.
I know.
Outward.
I know, I assumed as much.
Let's say that I would prefer. It's enough that you know that if you want to talk, we are younger, but we are not stupid. Or you,
No, you're
we
not.
can.
Yes.
We can help.
We are young in kindred ways, but we are still pretty much feeling very human. At least I do. So
Well, if you have any questions, feel free to ask me in the morning. I will probably not remember what's been bothering me, but it is late.
all right. Have a good sleep.
Okay.
And
No
you-
nightmares.
I will try.
And you head back to your room, where Felicia is sitting on the bed. She just smiles at you. Sleep well, my dear.
And you, Mother.
You really helped me. I feel so much calmer right now. It's so much better.
I'm glad, Mother.
He smiles. Gets ready to go to bed and lies down. I assume you do the same. What are you thinking about before you fall asleep?
I'm thinking about this new avenue that has opened up to me with my new abilities. I'm thinking about the sheriff and how I will see what his tasks are, but at present I don't think I mind working for him. I'm thinking about Cornelia, and then my mood sours somewhat when I remember the man that I forgot. But otherwise, I try to hold on to the fact that we got through Elysium and we didn't immediately die.
Didn't go that badly.
Not yet.
Mara and Janina, I assume you also head to your room. You are feeling very tired. You know the day is coming.
I will lie down and try to relax and reflect of what happened today. And my thoughts are probably about the Kindred that we met, probably beside the Storyteller, which I will try not to think because I think he ate a lot of my time today, so it's enough. So I think about the Bruja Primogenitor, Zygmunt was his name, I think.
Zygmunt, yes.
And I feel like, I don't know, if it's just because he is of my own clan, or because he just seems like a father figure that I never had, and that I also felt like that with Danielle. So it's just like very familiar feeling, and it's kind of, I want to meet him more and to get to know him, because I don't know, he attracts me, but not because he's a man, but more like the feeling of comfort and that feeling of familiarity that I feel with him. That I don't know if it's just because he's Bruja or because he just has this idea of a father that I never had. And then I also think about Mara, and she also worries me, so I will try to steer away from that. And I just hope that tomorrow everything will go okay, and the task that we will get won't be anything out of our capabilities, and that we will do good.
So you try to focus on the positives and
Yeah.
push the annoyance and the worries somewhere to the back of your mind. And how about you, Mara? In the
Mara,
last moments
probably-
before sunrise, what are you thinking about?
Mara, he is thinking about what Janina and Bea said to her, and she starting to envision the Elysium like some sort of new theater, and it's like to imagining this thing, and that could be could be some sort of new stage in a sense. She's still very conflicted about what to do with her whole life. So for now, she's trying not to think about the theater and what she has left inside. But something is sparking inside her about this whole idea of climbing political scene, like some sort of new play. She's thinking about it.
All right. So you get lost in those thoughts
Yes.
as the sun rises over Warsaw and you all fall asleep for another day. Thank you. I think this is a good place to end. Thank you very much to everyone who's been watching. It's great to have you here. I hope you enjoyed it. And we play every 2 weeks, so we should be back on the 12th of January.
Yes. Happy New Year.
Yes,
Happy New
absolutely.
Year.
I hope you're all getting some rest now at the end of this pretty horrible year, and that the new one will bring something better for all of us.
Yay, kitty party.
Yay!
Yay! Yes, we have a cat join us now. So thank you all very much. Happy New Year, and we hope to see you in the new year on the 12th of January.
Take care.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.